Technology risk is a risk that happens when changes in technology affect how an organization works. It can make current systems or processes become outdated, inefficient, or fail to function properly. In simple words, it's the risk that something could go wrong with our technology. For example, like when the system crashes, data is lost, or when we fail to keep up with the new technology. Now, let's look at the types of technology risk. I'll be explaining on the operational risk, cybersecurity risk, and also innovation risk. First is operational risk. It is an unsystematic risk, meaning it only affects one organization. It happens when the system software or a network fails and stops the company from running smoothly. For example, a server crash or a downtime. To manage this, company usually reduce the risk by doing regular maintenance, system updates, and backups. Next is cybersecurity risk, which is also an unsystematic risk. This happens when there is a hacking, malware, or phishing attack that cause data loss or system damage. To handle this, companies can reduce the risk by using firewalls or antivirus software, or maybe transfer it through cyber insurance. Lastly is an innovation risk. This one is a systematic risk, meaning it can affect many companies or the whole industries. It happens when there is an uncertainty in adopting new technology. For example, like if a company adopts too early, it might fail, or if it's too late, it might lose its competitiveness. To manage this, companies can reduce the risk by researching carefully and managing the timing of their innovation.
Now, I'll be talking about other types of technology risk. Data risk is an unsystematic risk, meaning it is specific to the organization. It involves how data is handled, stored, and protected within a company. Issues such as data breaches and loss of data integrity are examples of risks faced by individual organizations. To reduce this risk, companies can implement stronger data security measures, use encryption, conduct regular backups, and perform data integrity checks. This helps to mitigate the likelihood and impact of potential breaches or data loss. Next, obsolescence risk is a systematic risk affecting the entire industry or market. Technological advancements or shifts in customer preferences can render certain products, services, or processes outdated. This is a risk driven by factors like innovation and market trends that impact multiple businesses within a sector. Companies can reduce this risk by constantly innovating, upgrading their technology, and staying aligned with market trends. Regular assessments of market needs and adopting new technologies will ensure businesses to stay competitive. Next, third-party or vendor risk is an unsystematic risk, meaning it is specific to the relationship between a company and its vendors or suppliers. This risk arises from issues like vendor failures, disruptions in the supply chain, or problems with the quality or compliance of a third party's products or services. To transfer this risk, companies can include performance guarantees, service level agreements, or even use insurance for vendor-related risks in their contracts. Regulatory risk is a systematic risk affecting entire industries. It involves changes in laws, regulations, or government policies that impact businesses across a sector. This can include changes in tax laws, environmental regulations, or labor laws, which all influence business operations. Companies can reduce regulatory risk by working closely with other departments, staying updated with external consultants, and providing compliance training to ensure the business aligns with legal standards.
Hi, my name is NADIA BINTI RASNISHAM, and I will continue the presentation with 3 more technology risks, which are human error risk, strategic risk, and finally integration risk. Firstly is human error risk. Human error risk can be classified as unsystematic risk. This is because, in theory, even though some human errors are unavoidable, however, their mistakes do not affect the market as a whole, so it cannot be classified as systematic risk. Also, in terms of handling technology, most people make big mistakes due to not having enough training, which this mistake could be avoidable if the company paid more attention to giving proper training. So, human error risk is due to employees not having enough training and essential skills and experience to be able to prevent themselves from making mistakes when handling the company's technology. So, for example, if their company buy new technology to compete with their competitors, however, they do not teach the employees how to use the new technology properly. So, the employees could make mistakes like pressing the wrong button or key in the wrong data, and this mistake can cost the company money and productivity. So how do we mitigate this according to Tara? So we can mitigate human error risk by reducing it. we can reduce it by having the company do a more detailed employee training. Also, we can also make sure that all the systems have warning messages to avoid the employee accidentally deleting or editing something unnecessary, and making sure the company always have backup. Next is the strategic risk. Strategic risk is an unsystematic risk because it mainly affects the specific company and it is controllable by the organization. Strategic risk is due to the management not being able to strategically use or invent technology that will allow them to reach their objectives in the most efficient and profitable way. For example, to compete with competitors, they release their competitive product way too early without proper testing. That product could have manufacturing problems, and this could make the product not being able to meet users' expectations. Also, there can be additional costs for refunds and the company's reputation can be tarnished. How to mitigate this using data? We can reduce it. We can reduce it by having constant monitors and testing to make sure everything is going smoothly. Also, having the product be first used by a small batch of users to be able to get feedback from them and to be able to make sure that the product will be able to meet the users' expectations and needs. The final risk is the integration risk. The integration risk is also an unsystematic risk because it also affects the specific company and not the market as a whole. It is also controllable by the organization. Integration risk is when a company tries to integrate new technology into their existing system and has the possibility of the technology not being able to merge well with the existing one. Normally, this is because companies will want to be able to have a competitive advantage from other companies that they will risk buying an upgraded system. However, there is a high possibility of the company experiencing loss because some upgraded system need the company to upgrade all of the system as a whole to be able to integrate well. Also, they could lose potential revenue due to longer maintenance of the system during the integration process. To mitigate this using Tara, we can transfer it. We can transfer it by having a third party handle the new part of the system to avoid the company from paying a higher cost. That is all from us. We hope you learned something. Thank you for listening.